Hey guys, what's happening? JC with Big Game Real Estate. Today we're going to talk about what it should be like as a new person in this real estate business. Again, whether you're doing commercial or residential, really doesn't matter. What does your day look like? How many times a week do you call? How many times a week are you out there driving for dollars or canvassing? What are the steps? So let's get into it. So we know where we're starting. And by the way, you should have a combination of everything. There should be a combination of cold calls, combination of warm calls, combination of lead calls that maybe you pay for, and also driving for dollars and getting the information. So what I would suggest is this. Oftentimes it can be very tempting. You want to drive around, you want to write down 100 properties on your notebook, and you go back home and you're like, which one was 123 Main Street? So here's what I would do. Set up 3 days a week. 3 days a week. Pick a market, okay? Drive the market and find 10 properties. When you find those properties, don't just drive by them and, oh yeah, it looks good, and, keep going. Identify the property, pull into the lot, write the address down, take a few notes to remind yourself, hey, this building has a Jersey Mike's in it, and the other 4 tenants look like they're failing. Think it could be a good reposition. Think I could re-tenant it. Good value add. Hey, that looks like an A-class, industrial building. Wonder what's going on there. Guys aren't probably going to be doing that right now. Or if you're doing resi, hey, this is a dilapidated home, or this is a vacant lot. Okay, vacant lot commercial too. It's a vacant lot. Again, traffic light intersection, or it looks like it could be a good location. Let me look this up. Once you get your 10, and again, that's why I'm saying write down 10, because if you write down 30, you're just not going to remember where everything is. And to write down 30 in one market is also very difficult. So I would go home. I would, again, find the owner information, use your tax mapping programs, use your tracers, your people finders, write the numbers down, write the emails down. And when I'm saying write, I mean put it into a spreadsheet, okay? And start making your calls. Have a note section. All right. And then you're going to go through your pitch once you get them on the phone. Hey, listen, I'm a local investor, just past your building, etc. Whatever you guys are trying to do. I've gone over that plenty in other videos. From there, if you're not getting responses, I would maybe show up at the property if it's maybe something that has a residential component, or if it's a multi-family building and it has 20 tenants and you can't get the owner on the phone, show up, ring one of the doorbells, ask one of the tenants, say, hey, who owns this place? And try to get some contact. Who's your landlord? All right. That's a good way to do it. Or send a mailer. And that's how I would start. And I would schedule an hour or so a day for those calls. So remember, you got Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you're out canvassing. All right. So let's say 9 and 10, you're canvassing. And an hour a day, again, it's gonna be very easy to do at first. You're not going to need the hour, but you have to get used to time blocking and time management. Spend the hour a day. Keep calling those numbers, call those numbers until you get it. Listen, it's only going to take you 1 week, 3 times out in the field to get 30 numbers. And that's going to take a whole hour to call. So as you progress and you're doing this thing for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you're going to have to schedule 2 hours for calls. So again, we're not going to take up all, 12 hours, 8 hours in this video, but you see how it goes. From there, what else would I do? I would also take an hour a day, or whatever time, half hour, whatever you have, for the online programs. Go on LoopNet, that same market. Hey, what are the properties in that market? They could be for lease, for sale. Maybe none of them are for lease or for sale, but you just want to get to the owners and start your relationship. So again, that's what I would do. Online platforms, Crexy, CoStar, LoopNet, and if they have anything else in your area, use that. Zillow if you're using residential. From there, another part of my day. Again, this is all in one day. This should be your daily. I would reach out again to friends and family, let them know you're in the business, see what they got. Or what I say in friends and family is previous clients. As you start building relationships, you're going to want to call these guys every week. And then we go into what's next? Meetings, right? If you're calling someone and it's a property you found, set a meeting. Okay. Again, explain to them you work with your group of investors. You already met those guys because you should already have set up your team before any of this even starts, right? We have a video on who your team members should be, what their roles are. All of this should be done before we make our first phone call, before we get out there canvassing. Obviously, you can canvass and take notes and jot it down, but your team should be in place before you start really getting on the phones. Another thing you could do when you're getting started, since you probably have a lot of extra time, there's a lot of cold call lists for property owners. Commercial, there's not a whole lot. You got to be a little bit more diligent for what's going on in your area. Residential, you can get a list of, foreclosures and all that other stuff. They sell them. You can get some for $100. Doesn't mean it's good, but you can at least, so you're not sitting around, you can make the calls in, and you will get deals from it. You may have to make 100 calls to get 5 people on the phone, but that's what I would do. And again, when you're doing your day, I wouldn't really go back to back to back to back to back. Schedule time for yourself. Hey, maybe you're a gym guy, get up, hit the gym early. Maybe you go on your drive. When you're driving for dollars, as we talked about in other videos, don't do it at rush hour, right? Or don't do it when you have to drive 60 miles an hour. And drive the market, not once, drive it 2 or 3 times, right? I'm driving up the highway going northbound. I can only really look this way. And when I'm coming southbound, I'm going to look that way. Drive it 30, 40 miles an hour. Get an idea of what's there. Drive it twice if you have to. Find those 10 properties. And guys, this is really how your day starts. A lot of people try to complicate it. They try to almost be so tired like they went for a wind sprint after. You don't need to do that, okay? What you need to do is you need to be targeted and you need to be diligent. That's why I'm telling you, write 10 properties down, write notes, get familiar with it. And anytime you're on the phone with somebody and they're like, hey, I'm not interested, put a callback date. Okay, hey, I spoke to this guy on January 1st. He's not interested. I'm going to call him again on February 1st. And look, if you get to February 1st and you feel like maybe the conversation last time wasn't as good, all right, wait till February 15th. Whatever you got to do, but put it in the spreadsheet so you can just keep going up to the top. And eventually, you'll have a list that's big where you're not going to get through every call in one day. So you just mark it off and you just kind of continue rolling on down. Remember, guys, the research for who these owners are is going to take a substantial period of time. To find 10 owners with good numbers, it's going to take time. And I would not suggest finding a number calling, finding a number calling, finding a number calling. No. Find all the contact information, plug it into your spreadsheet, and then begin to call. All right, guys, and remember, schedule time for yourselves. That's the beauty of this business is your clients really control your schedule, but you get to pick when you want to do stuff. So again, don't burn yourself out. You cannot sit at a desk for 7, 8 hours a day and expect to be productive. They say it's about 4 to 5 hours. So again, break your hours up. You do a hardcore heavy hour, take a 15-minute break, grab some lunch, grab some breakfast, whatever you're going to do. See you guys in the next one.